Hi guys, this is Laura from Doggy U, and I am here at the Moab Base Camp at the Women on the Road Campout. Hi everyone, so today I want to talk about the amazing Women on the Road Campout that I went to this weekend. If you're a female or non-binary traveler and you're not listening to the Women on the Road podcast, you need to. First of all, it's amazing. And it also keeps great company when you're on those long drives. But I want to talk about the camp out that they organized because I went to it this weekend and I just had such an amazing time. So this is my second year going, and it's their second year running the camp out. The last one was in Taos, New Mexico, and this one was in Moab, Utah. And this is a camp out not just for van life folks, it's for anyone who goes out and travels and camps. Any women or non-binary people who would like to come to the camp out can. So it doesn't matter what you're in. Last year I flew to Denver and drove down with the woman I met up with, and I slept in my minivan that I had rented and had a great time, though I froze quite a bit. So this year, because we live in Denver now, I was able to bring my van out and I just had a great time. But bring your tent, bring your car, whatever your setup is, you can camp with everybody on the Women on the Road Campout. So I just want to give you a little overview today about what the camp out is all about, because it is such a great time for women to meet up and come together and do all these wonderful activities, from yoga to hiking to business seminars to leatherworking. They had all sorts of stuff, mechanics to get involved in, and I tried to take advantage of as much of it as possible while I met amazing women from across the country. So as I mentioned, the camp out was held in Moab. So I drove down from Denver and I got there around 5, right when registration was closing, down this like 8-mile-ish dirt road where I thought my van was going to fall apart, but it was really just fine. And it was just a long dirt road. And we got there, and fortunately, if you got a dog ticket, you were allowed to have your dog off leash. So Whip had such a blast this weekend being able to be off leash most of the time. She met a bunch of dogs, we got to go hiking, all sorts of fun stuff. I did leash her when we went to the main hub area, just out of respect for everybody else, because not everybody wants to see your dog. So I leashed her during that part, but most of the rest of the time when we were mostly alone or just with other dog type people or people that like dogs, she was able to be off leash and just was tuckered by the end of the night. So once we got there, and I registered and got checked in and everything like that, we had a talk about whose land we were on. And that was really great for me because it's not something I knew a ton about. So learning about the land that was stolen from the Ute people that we were camping on really set the tone for the weekend, about being intentional and being present and understanding more about the place that we were coming together. So that was a really nice way to set up the weekend. After that, I went and hung out with a bunch of people into the evening until I got tired, and then I passed out because it was a long day. The next day, Saturday, was just jam-packed with activities. Most of the morning I spent hanging out, hiking a bunch. We hiked a lot of miles with Whip, getting her nice and tired because I knew in the afternoon I wanted to go to all the seminars. So Whip made a friend, so we went hiking together. Well, I guess the humans made friends too, but the dogs made friends as well. So we went on a nice long hike together, and really enjoyed that. And then I went to my first workshop. So my first workshop was goal and intention setting, and that was with Jamie Serbel. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. And what we did is we went through this goal setting notebook or journal that you can write, and it comes in, you basically set intentions or goals for 13 weeks, and you use this journal to help you stick with them. So right away on Monday, I started that journal, so I'm really excited to go through that. I'll link that down below, because it was a really great workshop thinking about what are my goals, how can I work towards them every day, and one of my goals is actually to put out more YouTube content, especially in the form of useful dog and travel videos, so that more people can get into positive reinforcement training and also see how accessible travel with their dogs is. So that was one of my goals. So I'm going to be working towards that and releasing 2 different videos every week towards that goal for at least the next 13 weeks while I work through my goal journal. So that was a wonderful, wonderful talk with a bunch of women where we got to also chat a little bit about our goals for our life in the next upcoming 3 months or so. The next one I went to was starting your remote business with Bree. Now, as you know, I already have a bit of a remote business, and so I was just looking for some cool tips and tricks and to learn about what other people are doing to be able to basically make money on the road and starting their own business. And that was a really fun talk as well. And I got a couple of tips and ideas and kind of fleshed out some of my ideas for my business going forward. After that, it was potluck prep time. So that night with I think there must have been about 200 women there, we were gonna have a potluck, so we had to prepare. And because I am mostly lazy and I don't have a way to cook in my van, or I just don't care to cook in my van, I got some pre-made salads that I could just throw together, put in a bowl, and bring up, which was pretty yummy because it was kale and Brussels sprouts and sunflower seeds and lemon poppy seed dressing. Anyway, it's pretty good. So we threw that together and went up to the potluck, and there's just so much good food and all this food that people had cooked in their vans or, over camp stoves and everything you can imagine, and lots of vegan and vegetarian food, which was right up my alley, obviously. So that was excellent. So we all sat around and had some dinner before the concert. Now, one of the big draws for me to go to this camp out is seeing Ira Wolf in concert. So last year, Ira Wolf, who's this amazing singer who also lives in a van and travels around, was at the Taos camp out, and I fell in love with her songs. So I downloaded them and I've been listening to them as my road tripping anthems for a year now. And so she was coming back for the concert, and it was fabulous. I went back to the van, I got Whip, I got my rumple blanket, and I bundled up, put Whip in my lap, and just was nice and warm under the Milky Way, listening to this music that I so enjoy. So it just felt really special. I just felt so good being there in community with a bunch of women, all listening to this just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous music. So that was the evening, and after that, we were all pretty pooped. So we went to bed, slept. Fantastic. I love my van so much. My van's a Wayfair van conversion, and I promise I'm actually going to get that video out in the next month or so with what my van is converted and more information about that. So stay tuned for that. And make sure you subscribe and press the little bell button, because that'll let you know when new videos come out. So we got up the next morning. I took Whip on a nice hike in this little washout, basin-y area. I'm not super familiar with the terms out here since I'm a New England girl, but this washed out rivery looking thing. We took a nice long walk there, which was lovely. And then I went to Leatherworking. So this Leatherworking workshop, which was run by Aubrey Hancock, out of Huck Finn Leather, was really cool. So what we were making was journal covers, and she actually had these travel journals that we could use, but I basically took my leather journal cover that I learned how to stitch and to burn the edges of and stamp and all that cool stuff, and I put it on my new goal setting journal. So now I have this lovely memento from this great weekend that I get to look at every day while I do my goal setting. So I have my leather journal cover that says Women on the Road and my goal setting journal. So I'm really pumped that I got to be able to bring that home, and I learned a little bit about leatherworking, which was very interesting to me, and I basically felt like we were in a little quilting sewing circle while we did all of our stitching to make our journal cover. But really fun activity. And after that, it was pretty much time to pack up and go. So I packed up, I did a little bit of filming for a project that I'm working on, and then I decided to hit the road and head to Arches. I love national parks. We've been to Arches before. We've hiked to Delicate Arch and all of that, but I just wanted to see it again because we'd only been there for one day last summer? Nope, 2 summers ago, road trip, cross country, we hit Arches. But I went there and I found this great spot to park the van. Whip was taking a nap because she was pooped from this weekend. And how many times can I say pooped in this video? And then I worked on my journal a little bit, and I started coming up with goals and just reflecting on this wonderful weekend that I had with all of these amazing women who were so open and friendly, and they reached out. I even, have made plans to meet up with some of them that are in the Denver area. So that was pretty much the day. I went to Arches, and then I made a marathon drive home over the mountains back home. I think what I really got out of this weekend is a real sense of community. Sometimes as someone who travels alone in a van quite a bit in this non-traditional way with this non-traditional business, by myself, it feels a bit isolating, and just being around all of these women who understand the lifestyle of wanting and like feeling in your heart that you need to be driving and hitting the open road and seeing new things and needing that change all the time, and just being like in awe of the natural world around us that we're so lucky to have in the US and Canada. It was really special for me, and it's an event that I will go to year after year because, geez, I'm tearing up. It just makes me feel so many things about the women that I'm with, and about this land, and about the privilege that I have to be able to travel the country, you know, whenever I want to. So after that, I think that's everything that I wanted to tell you guys. I just wanted to talk about this weekend because if you are a traveler, you definitely want to check it out for next year. I hope it goes on every single year because it was only better from last year to this year, and last year was pretty good too. So really enjoyed myself. Thank you so much to Laura, who is the organizer, and to all of the people who participated, the people who ran the clinics, to the sponsors, and everybody who made that camp out possible. It's a real highlight of the year for me. So thanks so much. If you have questions about anything that I talked about in the video, definitely comment below. If you like it, please give it a thumbs up. Really trying to build the channel to make sure that people have a way to understand more about dog travel, traveling in a van, and as well as dog training. So every time that you comment or share or all of that, it helps build the channel so more people can find it and see that road travel with your dog is accessible in whatever form that you can do it. All right, guys, you have a great day. Happy training, safe travels. Free. Go. Go play.